the Young Avengers are finally coming back. The long-awaited Young Avengers plan is heating up again both on the comic side and in the MCU. And the new info that surfaced shows this team was actually planned to show up much earlier. Kang was even supposed to be at the center of their first encounter. But when things didn't go as expected, those plans were shelved. Let's take a closer look at that canceled project in the past and the latest news about the Young Avengers revival. While I'm explaining the details to you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Let's get started. Michael Waldron, one of the creators behind Marvel Studios' Loki, revealed that while he and Jeff Loveness were working on the Kang dynasty, they developed an idea where the Young Avengers would appear in the movie. The plan was for the young heroes to team up for the first time and take down a Kang variant. The fun twist would have been discovering that the Kang they beat was actually a rookie basically on his first day at work. So the young heroes would think they'd scored a huge win, only to realize they took out the wrong Kang, leading to a funny but pretty ironic letdown. This plan would have been a different tone for Marvel, maybe even more playful. The idea of young heroes thinking they stopped a massive threat and then finding out it was a trainee Kang is genuinely creative. But because of big changes at the studio, the project got shelved. After Jonathan Majors' legal issues, Marvel tossed out the Kang-centric plans. The Kang dynasty was canceled, and the project shifted into Avengers Doomsday. Now the main villain is Victor Von Doom. So what does that mean for the Young Avengers? There's still hope. We all remember the final scene of the Marvels where Kamala reaches out to Kate Bishop to form a team. That moment was one of the clearest signals of the Young Avengers concept in the MCU. And some reliable sources claim the Young Avengers will appear in Avengers Doomsday. In other words, they might join the big battle and then stand alongside even bigger heroes in Secret Wars. The comic side is seeing a similar revival. Jonathan Hickman's Imperial series is shaking up the cosmic corner and putting Young Avengers members like Hulkling and Wiccan back in the conversation. After the escalating Skrull crisis, America Chavez showing up to rescue the two is being taken as a strong sign that the Young Avengers are reassembling. The team last had its own series in 2013 and since then has popped up around the Marvel Universe in scattered ways, but now they're all active again and ready to regroup. This comeback creates an interesting synchronicity across the MCU and the comics. As Marvel adds young heroes on screen, the comics are also bringing their stories back to center stage. Kate Bishop is getting more popular, Kamala is one of the closest names to the Avengers, and the return of Wiccan and Hulkling puts the Young Avengers on solid footing. Their individual momentum makes this the perfect chance for a team revival. In fact, the Young Avengers' return could be a key part of Marvel's future plans. As the MCU prepares to pass the torch from legacy heroes to a new generation, the Young Avengers can sit right at the center of that transition. Seeing the legacy of giants like Iron Man and Captain America carried by a new wave of heroes is exciting. It's not just a story choice, it's critical for Marvel's long-term sustainability. Creating new heroes for younger audiences is one of the best ways to build cross-generational loyalty. The events in Imperial give that return a dramatic foundation. The abrupt end of Hulkling's reign, Wiccan's severe injury, and America Chavez arriving at the last second strongly create a the team has to get back together feeling. With the Skrull Empire collapsing and the galaxy's order breaking down, putting the young heroes back on the board widens the story's scope. It also reminds us they're not just the kids, they're major figures at the center of huge events. Plus, Marvel isn't building this comeback on nostalgia alone. The stories focus on more mature versions of these characters. Kate Bishop isn't just a young archer anymore, she's a confident leader in the making. America Chavez has much tighter control of her cosmic powers. And Hulkling and Wiccan are returning as characters who carry serious personal and political weight, so the Young Avengers aren't coming back as inexperienced rookies. They've leveled up. When you put all these signals together, you can see Marvel steadily moving the Young Avengers into the spotlight. Another interesting angle is the rumor that the champions could be folded into this plan. Blending a lineup that includes Ms. Marvel, Miles Morales, and Nova with the Young Avengers could create a richer pool of characters in both the comics and the MCU. That way, Marvel can build a wide, youthful ensemble and deliver dozens of new stories. These merger rumors make a lot of sense for the MCU. Instead of a single, isolated Young Avengers project, Marvel Studios could unify the young hero structure under different banners to get a broader impact. That would build something familiar yet fresh for both comics, readers, and moviegoers. And combining the two teams could give us a stronger, deeper young roster for massive events like Secret Wars. That potential alone is enough to spark fan curiosity. One of the biggest focal points right now is Avengers Doomsday. With the Kang plans canceled, the focus shifted to Victor Von Doom, and this film opens the door to a massive clash packed with heroes. Having the young heroes involved does two things. First, it injects fresh energy into the big ensemble. Second, it creates an organic path for them to rise to full Avenger status in the future. Even if this isn't their official launch, it's a strong stepping stone to the main stage. The Secret Wars era after Avengers, Doomsday could offer an even wider playground for the Young Avengers. With multiversal conflicts in the mix, young heroes from other realities could join the team as well. If Marvel wants to keep interest high with new faces and new stories, young squads are tailor-made for that strategy. That way, the familiar universe stays intact for longtime fans, while fresh content draws in a new generation. Hype is just as high on the comics side. With Imperial pushing Hulkling and Wiccan back into focus, it signals not only that the team will return, but that it'll happen on a strong story foundation. America Chavez showing up to save them could be the starting gun for the reunion. It's nostalgic, sure, but it also centers the growth these characters have gone through. All of this shows that Marvel isn't just bringing the Young Avengers back, they're prepping them for a much stronger future. A potential new series in the comics, moving in parallel with MCU projects, could create major synergy. It's a smart path to keep Marvel's winning streak going. In short, the Young Avengers are gearing up to be reborn on the big screen and on the page. At this point, it's also worth asking why the return took so long. Since their last series in 2013, the team never disappeared entirely, but they weren't put at the heart of a major storyline either. Most members went off on solo paths. Wiccan and Hulkling played crucial roles in events like Empire. Kate Bishop shined in her own series. America Chavez kept moving through the Ultimates and other cosmic missions. Their individual growth means that once they reunite, they'll come back as a much stronger lineup. Another reason behind all this is Marvel's long-term planning. Over the years, the MCU said goodbye to major heroes, which kicked off a real transition period. With giants like Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, and Natasha Romanoff stepping off the stage, it became clear a new generation needed to rise. The Young Avengers are one of the most important parts of that new wave. Waiting more than a decade to bring them back might have been about finding the right time and the right story. At the same time, the Young Avengers' return also reflects a tonal shift at Marvel. Earlier Avengers stories were massive in scale, darker, fate-driven. In this new era, humor, youthful energy, and more intimate relationships could take the lead. Even the rookie Kang idea from Michael Waldron and Jeff Loveness fits that vibe perfectly. The young heroes thinking they toppled a huge threat only to realize they beat the wrong guy nails Marvel's updated sense of humor. Of course, even though those specific plans were canceled, there are still lots of possibilities ahead. After shelving the Kang concept, Disney and Marvel kept the Young Avengers on the table. That shows the studio's confidence in the team. Centering a squad of young heroes carries massive potential commercially and creatively. Especially for younger viewers to connect with the MCU, new faces are essential, and the Young Avengers can fill that gap. On top of that, the team can surge in wider pop culture too. Kate Bishop reached a broad audience through Hawkeye. Miss Marvel changed the game in her own series. And characters like Wiccan have stepped back into the spotlight thanks to projects like Agatha All Along. As these stories expand, the fan base grows. So Marvel circling back to the Young Avengers lines up perfectly with what the audience wants. The Young Avengers comeback is also directly tied to Marvel's big future arcs. Doomsday and Secret Wars mark the beginning of a brand new era. If these two films bring old and new heroes together, it's only natural the Young Avengers would have a place in that story. They can gain experience through these huge battles, take on key roles, and maybe even form the Avengers lineup of tomorrow. That would be an effective bridge for their growth, both as individuals and as a team. The new dynamics after Imperial support this trajectory. Maximus and the Grandmaster's schemes, fractured Skrull relations, collapsing galactic structures, all of it reshapes the destinies of Hulkling and Wiccan. America Chavez reaching them strengthens the emotional side and helps spark the reunion. It's a sign that Young Avengers stories won't just be about action, they'll be driven by strong emotional connections too. Another standout point is that Marvel doesn't see its new-gen teams as side groups. If Champions and Young Avengers come together, the MCU could showcase a kind of ensemble we haven't seen before. These teams bring different motivations, histories, and power dynamics. That opens up a much broader canvas, more personalities to explore, more worlds to visit, more adventures to tell. Looking at the big picture, it's clear Marvel has a two-part plan for the Young Avengers. First, bring them back to center stage in the comics to build momentum. Second, integrate them into the MCU one by one to lay the groundwork for a massive team-up down the line. This balanced strategy works on both the creative and business fronts, letting Marvel satisfy longtime fans while welcoming new audiences. Both the MCU and the comics are accelerating, and we're heading into a really exciting stretch. Who do you think will make the final roster? And with Kang off the board, how would a showdown with Doom play out? Share your thoughts in the comments, let's talk it out. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. See you in the next video.